The F-4 Phantom II jet interceptor and fighter bomber is easily one of the most well-known American aircraft of the Cold War era. The Vietnam War, numerous involvements in the Middle East, Operation Desert Storm being the main rival to the ever-present Soviet MiG, the Phantom saw a lot of action. But let's go to the beginning. In 1948, the U.S. Navy was in need of a new long-range fighter aircraft for bomber escort duty. The subsonic F-88 design proposed by McDonnell Aircraft wasn't quite what the Navy wanted. But the engineers of the company managed to use the lessons learned during the development of that aircraft to make a new design. The F-3 Demon, a carrier-based jet fighter, adopted into service in 1956. It was clearly a temporary solution, though. The aircraft simply wasn't reliable enough. New Westinghouse turbojet engines didn't produce enough power and sometimes caught fire, and it was a real pain to replace them. That's why in 1953, when the military was still waiting for the Demon to arrive, a successor aircraft was already in the works, the AH-1. A very important contribution to that process was made by General Electric, who created the heart of the new jet, the powerful J-79 engines. The initial plan was to make a twin-engine carrier-based jet fighter equipped with cutting-edge avionics and armed with 4 autocannons. But during the development process, the team behind the project decided to drop autocannons in favor of guided missiles. In 1958, the AH-1 was ready for its maiden flight, and it left quite an impression thanks to air intakes equipped with variable geometry ramps, a brand new radar, and other improvements over the predecessor. During testing, the aircraft proved to be quite reliable, not to mention that just from 1960 to 1961, it managed to establish a total of 5 world records. Basically, at that point, it was just needed a name. There were proposals to name it Ghost or Mitras, but in the end, the F-4 was given the name we all know today, Phantom. The aircraft traveled at crazy speed for its time, reaching over Mach 2 at high altitudes. Given the fact that it also had massive firepower, it's little surprise that the fighter jet was soon adopted by both the United States Marine Corps and the United States Air Force, resulting in a very long service life spanning decades in the US alone. In Vietnam, the US used the Phantom for bomber escort duty and for ground attack. And initially, when American pilots encountered mostly MiG-17s, the American jet had no trouble obtaining air superiority. Dealing with the MiG-21, though, proved to be considerably more difficult. After a while, it also became clear that the aircraft could really use a cannon. The early Sparrow and Sidewinder missiles were frequently reported as unreliable, something that became only more evident when comparing missiles to more conventional cannons. That's why the F-4E variant was finally fitted with an internal cannon, the 6-barrel Vulcan mounted in the nose of the aircraft. New Phantoms were being made right up to 1981, with allies of the US receiving quite a lot of these fighter bombers throughout the years. For example, the British used not one, but 2 slightly modified versions of this aircraft, the FG-1 and the FGR-2, also used for reconnaissance duty. It's worth noting that both were fitted with a new engine, the British Rolls-Royce Spey. The Phantom was especially popular in Japan. The Japanese even produced their own variant of the F-4E called the F-4EJ under license. Coincidentally, this model was among the very last Phantoms ever made, with production lines closing only in 1981, 2 years later than in the US. Thanks to its excellent flying capabilities and powerful armaments, the F-4 had a very long run indeed, and deservingly so, Have you used Phantoms in battle? Which Phantom is your favorite? Please tell us in the comments below.